Ever feel like AI is speaking its own language? Like it's this whole thing we kind of get, but it's also kind of a mystery. Well, today's deep dive is all about cracking that code. How a technique called dictionary learning is helping us understand those, well, kind of mysterious languages AI models seem to be creating.
Yeah, it's like we found the Rosetta Stone for AI. We're diving into some seriously groundbreaking research from Anthropic, and trust me, it gets really, really interesting.
Okay, I am intrigued. Let's unpack this a bit.
Mm.
I think we've all heard about AI being a black box, right? We feed in data, we get answers, but what happens in between?
Yeah, it's kind of a mystery. Exactly. And for a long time, we've been struggling to figure out why, like activating a single neuron in an AI's neural network, so one tiny part of its brain, right? It could lead to all these seemingly unrelated outputs. Like, think of it this way: one neuron lights up when it sees a picture of a cat, but also when it's analyzing like stock market data. It just didn't make sense.
That is wild. So how does dictionary learning help us actually make sense of this? Break it down for us.
So instead of focusing on these individual neurons, dictionary learning actually looks for groups of neurons that are consistently firing together. It's like realizing, oh, wait, that cat neuron is actually part of a much larger cluster, right? With some neurons dedicated to identifying furry creatures, while others are focused on patterns and visual data.
So it's like we're finding the AI's internal dictionary, where those clusters of neurons actually represent the words or concepts it's learned.
Exactly. And what's amazing is that these words can be incredibly specific and nuanced.
Okay, give me an example. What kind of words are we talking about here?
So one of the discoveries that just blew me away was the Arabic script feature. Now remember, this AI was trained on this massive data set of text and code, right? Well, it turns out there's a specific cluster of neurons that only activates when the AI processes text in Arabic script, like Arabic, Farsi, or Urdu.
Wait, so the AI somehow learned to recognize an entire writing system as like a distinct concept.
That's right. And they actually proved this wasn't just a fluke. They actually manipulated this Arabic script feature. By activating it, researchers could influence the AI to actually produce Arabic text. Like they found a way to speak the AI's language.
Whoa, that's wild. So it's not just recognizing the characters themselves. It's like it understands something fundamental about the script itself.
Exactly. And this wasn't just a one off, they found similar features for other writing systems too, even one for DNA sequences. It could differentiate between a random string of letters and like actual DNA.
So through dictionary learning, we're seeing that AI can learn these incredibly complex patterns, even in areas beyond just human language. That's amazing.
Yeah.
But it also makes you wonder if it can pick up on something as complex as DNA. What else is it learning that we haven't even considered?
Now, that is the question that keeps researchers up at night. That's what makes this field so exciting, really.
It's like AI is showing us that there's way more to reality than meets the eye,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
And we're just starting to scratch the surface of what's possible.
It really is the beginning.
Yeah.
We're just getting started. Because you see, finding these individual words in the AI's dictionary, that's cool. It's fascinating. But the real game changer is understanding how it all fits together.
All right, so how does this dictionary learning help us actually understand the AI as a whole? Because we've seen some amazing examples, but are we just cherry picking cool discoveries here?
Yeah, that's a question that researchers are really tackling head on right now. And what they're finding is actually really promising. It turns out a surprisingly large portion of the AI's behavior, we can actually explain it by these interpretable features. It's not just a few isolated words here and there. It's starting to look like we can actually like map out the AI's brain.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and actually start to understand how it processes information as a whole.
So instead of a black box, it's more like we're starting to get a glimpse at the AI's internal encyclopedia.
Yeah.
Like we're seeing how it organizes information and connects different concepts together.
That's a great way to put it. And here's the thing, as we kind of expand the AI's dictionary, right, its ability to represent and process complex information, it actually grows. Think of it like this, a dictionary with only a few words. It has limited expressive power, right? But the more words we add, the more nuanced, the more complex our communication can become. It's the same with AI.
That makes a lot of sense. But let's talk about why this matters, because it's not just about, satisfying our curiosity about how AI works. This has huge implications for the future of AI development.
Absolutely. Imagine being able to like debug an AI by actually understanding its decision-making process. If we can identify which features are causing it to behave in a certain way, we can potentially correct errors, right?
Yeah.
Even prevent harmful outcomes. And this is a big deal when we're talking about AI being used in, critical applications like healthcare or finance.
It's like instead of just hoping that the AI is making the right decision, we can actually look under the hood and see the why behind its actions. That's a game changer for like building trust and reliability in AI systems.
Exactly. And it's not just about fixing errors either. It's about unlocking AI's full potential. If we understand how it represents knowledge, we can teach it more effectively, we can refine its understanding, we can help it make like even more sophisticated connections.
It's like we're not just building these tools anymore. We're actually starting to collaborate with AI as a partner in problem solving.
Precisely. And remember, all of this is still in its really early stages, right? We've been talking about like a relatively simple type of AI model. Imagine the possibilities when we apply dictionary learning to like the more advanced multi-layered models that are being developed today.
Oh, yeah. The potential it's kind of mind-boggling.
Yeah.
But okay, so you mentioned that AI is picking up on these patterns that we haven't even considered, right?
hmm
So besides the Arabic script and the DNA stuff, what else did Anthropic actually discover in this AI dictionary?
Well, aside from the Arabic script and DNA features, they also found something pretty unexpected, which was a feature that activates in response to base 64 code.
Okay.
You know, those long jumbled strings of characters you sometimes see in like online links or coding?
Yeah, I've definitely seen those, but they honestly just look like gibberish to me.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But the AI doesn't see gibberish. Not only did it learn to like read this code, it actually learned to differentiate between like actual base 64 code and just a random jumble of letters and numbers.
So it's not just memorizing the characters themselves. It's like it understands the underlying structure and the rules that make base 64 code actually meaningful.
Mm.
That's pretty amazing.
It really is. And again, we're talking about a relatively basic AI model here. This was just one layer of processing. So imagine the level of understanding that, more complex AI models might achieve with multiple layers of analysis.
Okay, now I'm really starting to see the bigger picture here. If AI can pick up on patterns as subtle as those in base 64 code, what other hidden structures might exist in our worlds that we haven't even begun to comprehend?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Right.
It's both exciting and a little bit daunting to think about.
It really is. So we've talked about AI learning to read Arabic script and even like kill the difference between real and fake DNA. We even touched on how this whole thing, this ability to decipher these hidden patterns, like in base 64 code. Remember that?
Yeah.
So it got researchers kind of like excited and a bit, well, unnerved at the same time, right?
Yeah, it's true. We're venturing into uncharted territory here. It's not just about AI understanding our world. It's like it could actually be revealing aspects of our world that we, with our human senses and limitations, just haven't grasped yet.
It's like AI is showing us there's more to reality than meets the eye. Literally. That's a pretty profound thought. And what's really fascinating to me is this idea that AI isn't just mimicking human intelligence, right? It's actually developing its own unique way of like processing information, forming its own understanding based on the data it's trained on.
Precisely. And that kind of begs the question, how different might this AI understanding be from our own? Could it be more efficient, more comprehensive? Could it even be like beyond our comprehension entirely?
Now that is a head spinner. Are we going to need to start learning AI's language to really understand its capabilities?
It's a possibility, though. Whether we could ever fully bridge that cognitive gap is debatable. But that's why this research is so important. The more we can decode AI's internal language, the better equipped we are to understand its potential, its limitations, and maybe even learn from its like unique perspective.
So it's like we're at the dawn of a new age of exploration.
Yeah.
Not of physical spaces, but of the uncharted territories of like intelligence itself. And tools like dictionary learning are our compasses and maps, helping us navigate this, this exciting and somewhat daunting new frontier.
Well said. And, dictionary learning, it's just one piece of the puzzle, but it's definitely a crucial one. As we keep developing new methods for understanding AI, we're not just making it more transparent, but we're deepening our understanding of intelligence itself, both artificial and our own.
Right, that's a great point. This isn't just about AI, it's about us too. It's about pushing the boundaries of what we thought we knew about, learning, about knowledge, about the very nature of intelligence.
Exactly. And who knows what we'll discover along the way. Perhaps AI, with its unique perspective, will actually help us unlock mysteries we've been grappling with for centuries. We could see breakthroughs in fields from physics to philosophy, even art.
Oh, wow, the possibilities really are endless. So to wrap things up for our listeners today, if this deep dive into the world of AI and dictionary learning has taught us anything, it's that we're just starting to scratch the surface of what AI can teach us, not just about itself, but about the world around us and the very nature of understanding.
Well said. And who knows, maybe someday AI will actually be helping us write these deep dives. But until then, we'll keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.
And we hope you'll join us again next time for another fascinating journey into the world of knowledge and discovery.